All right, on this episode, we're going to talk about top marketing secrets for specifically water damage restoration jobs in 2023 and 2024. This is episode 31 of Restoration Marketing Secrets. Let's get into it.
This isn't just any podcast. This is your secret weapon for dominating the market.
This is the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast, and this is your host, Sean McMeen.
Welcome to Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast. Again, I am your host, Sean McMeen, and today we're going to be talking about water damage, top marketing strategies for 2023 and 2024. This is episode 31 of Restoration Marketing Secrets, and the previous episode 30 talked about the top strategies for your damage restoration business. We're going to talk about each individual service from water, mold, fire, roofing, remodeling, all of those types of things. What works on a marketing strategy standpoint online and what you should be focused on. These are heavy hitting topic or specific actions that you need to do in order to move things forward, and to just check yourself to make sure that you have this in place. This is not going to be all encompassing. It's going to be top priority things, and I'm going to tell you some low priority things that you should probably avoid unless you have time or somebody that's you have working on it. I'm focused mainly on what's going to generate you more phone calls, right? So, all right, so let's dive into it. Let's not waste any time here. So I always like to say that your marketing strategy starts with your website, and other people will say, well, it starts with Google Ads. It starts with local maps. At the end of the day, your website is still the hub of your online activity, and all of those things play into it. So we're going to start with website. You're going to want to do this. Now, if you're the business owner, ideally, you're not the person doing this from your website standpoint, but you either hire a marketing company like Vinnie Restoration Marketing, or you hire somebody that has familiarity with your industry. Don't pay somebody to do the R&D or the research about your industry. Find somebody that you trust and that you like working with, and let's dive into the actual items on your website for your top marketing strategies for water damage. All right, number one. You want to look at the top 3 or 4 competitors for high-level terms in Google search in your specific area. Don't search outside of, like in Boston or Chicago, if you're not located in those areas. Look at the top 3 competitors, 3 to 4 competitors, and specifically look at their homepage and look at their water damage service page or flood damage service page. And you can use what a Chrome plugin, a Google Chrome plugin, so the browser plugin called Detailed SEO Extension. And what you can do then is inspect that actual page, and what it's going to tell you is what the title of the page is, what the meta description of the page is, what the URL of the page is, and most importantly, if you look at the headings, what type of content are they covering on that page? And there's other aspects about it, but at the end of the day, that's what you want to look at. And you want to make sure that your service pages on your website, so you're going to make sure you have 2 service pages on your website. So you've got your homepage, right, that talks about damage restoration services in specific location and your company, right? On the 2 service pages, you want to have a water damage restoration page, and you want to have a fire damage cleanup or restoration page, and you want to talk about those specific services. And so when you look at those top 3 or 4 competitors, it's going to tell you what topics they're covering. You probably have a good idea of what you want to include on that page, but what the research tells you is you go out to Google and show what's ranking, and that's going to be what you're going to cover on the page. Not what you think you want to cover, but what Google is showing in the top section of that page, and it's going to be different for every location around the country, right? So do the research first, pull up a spreadsheet, put the competitor name, put the page, put the title, put the description, put the URL, and then the topics or the headers that's covered on that page, and that's what your page needs to include. So that's the basic research for the 2 pages for your services for water damage, restoration, and flood damage cleanup. Then you also want to be creating at least 1 piece of helpful content related to water damage or flood damage on a monthly basis. So this can be, commonly asked questions like, does my insurance cover water damage? FAQs related to water damage. All of those things. One topic, at least one topic per month, helpful piece of content. The next thing on your website is showcasing at least one job that you did related to water damage or flood damage. This job can be a recent job, or it can be a job that you have a photo and a description for 3 years ago. It doesn't matter. The important thing is do the case study, talk about what type of job it was, where the job took place, what city it took place in, and problem solution outcome statement. So that's the things that the priorities on your website that you need to be focused on. If it's a case of, do I have time to do this myself, or do I hire it out? If you have the resources, hire it out and give them this outline. Okay. Next thing, low priority things. Now, it's from your website, low priority. You should have a location page for every single town in your area, but that's not necessarily needed. You need a service area page that talks about all the towns and the services you provide in those towns. At some point, you'll be able to invest in location pages for every single town to help expand your proximity to suburbs if you're located in a metropolitan area or surrounding towns. So that's a low priority thing on the website. So that covers all things website. And again, there's a million things you could do, but these are the top handful of things that I would focus on. The next thing for water damage, top marketing strategies, is online advertising. Get yourself set up for Google Local Services ads. Get IIC certification for the firm level submitted, $1 million in liability coverage submitted, and then do the simple background check for Google guaranteed Google Local Service ads. Those are the same thing. Get that going for water damage. Include as many categories. Check back into some previous episodes about optimizing those Google Local Services ads. Get that going ASAP. The next thing on online advertising or paid ads, everybody's probably heard of Google PPC or Google Ads, pay-per-click advertising, right? If you have a budget of $2,500 to $3,500 minimum, and I would say this for the most of metropolitan areas, then you could look at doing Google PPC. If you have anything lower than that, chances are you're going to be wasting your money for one or two clicks, and those might be converting, those might not be. And if anybody tells you differently, they're either not telling you the truth about how expensive Google Google pay-per-click is, or they're trying to just sell you something. Okay, I can tell you that we consistently generate with around a $2,500 to $3,500 budget. Our PPC runs from anywhere $200 to $350 usually. Newer campaigns are more expensive because they have to be optimized, and every area is a little different when you start these ads. So even though you start with a blueprint, you optimize and continue on. But I can just tell you, paid ads, if you do not have for Google Ads $2,500 to $3,500 a monthly budget, and this should not be a 1 month and done thing. You need to be able to plan for 3 to 6 months to be able to spend that amount in order to get the ROI back long term over it. Again, if you're spending $3,500 and you get 3 or 4 jobs out of it, clearly pays for itself. But you want to be doing more than that with PPC. So those are the top priorities for the paid ad side. Low priority, utilize Yelp if Yelp is big in your area. If you're hearing competitors are getting things out of it, go ahead and do it. You can also do, depending on your budget, lower quality things. Yelp is one of those lower quality leads, but you're going to get some leads trickling in. You can usually get some credits for Yelp to start those type of ads. You can also do Home Advisors and Angie List, but again, those leads are going to be lower quality, so I put them as a low priority. The other thing is Facebook ads. So many people say Facebook ads for water damage restoration work. False. They usually do not work. It is a branding strategy, and I would not be spending more than $15 a day on a branding strategy to promote your company within your area. Not having any audience assigned to it, but just promoting your company. And we have a whole strategy about that, and I've done a previous podcast about it, and we'll be talking about it in the future. It is important, but not as important when you're when you want to get phone calls so immediately. So those are the things about paid ads, online advertising, that are the priority and the low priority. Let's talk about SEO. Everybody's heard of SEO. Most people have heard of SEO. The main important area right now is Google Maps SEO. If you're not in the top 50% of the page, you might as well be invisible. Those areas that I talked about previously about paid ads, now that I'm talking about Google Ads and Google Guaranteed, those are going to get you right up the top, okay? So what do you do for Google Maps and SEO? First thing, make sure everything is filled out in your profile. Make sure water damage restoration is your primary category. Fill out all the services and extra sub-services as related to that Google's telling you to fill out, and get reviews to that profile. Okay, and that's the next section here is about reputation management. Make sure you're getting 1 to 2 reviews consistently from clients, partners, business, family, friends, people that are recommending. Most of the time, it's best to text them. If they have a Gmail account, send them an email. Is another good option. So with local SEO, you want to make sure you mainly fill out all the profile. You want to be doing maybe 1 or 2 posts, Google posts per week. It's not the end all be all, but it is a ranking factor. A key ranking factor is the name that you set. So if your company is Spider-Man Restoration, okay, that's fine. It has restoration in the title. But a better way of doing this is naming your company or setting up a DBA that says your town, your service that you primarily provide. So if you are in Chicago Water Damage Restoration Team, straight to the point, main keywords in the title. I'm just giving you an example. You can name any variation of that, but make sure you have a DBA in place if you're going to change that name on your Google Maps profile. Now, if you've already got an established company, you have some sort of restoration or some sort of remodeling or roofing, depending on what you're doing. Again, this is about water damage right here, but if you have it in your title, then that's completely fine. Don't go out and create a DBA and start all over with all that. If you're starting brand new, make sure the company name has that in there, okay? So again, back to reputation. That's a big factor in for local SEO and Google Maps SEO. I'm not going to go too crazy with SEO, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure all of your name, address, phone number, and website information is consistent across online, and you can do that with citations, and there's services out there that do it, like, for instance, you can use like Yext or something like that to do that. That's really what I'm going to talk about SEO for right now, because you can go on a tangent on SEO. As far as low priority items related to sort of online reputation, low priority is social media marketing, Facebook, Instagram. Again, it's a branding play, and I'm not saying that it is a bad thing to do it. I'm just saying there's other priorities. So sure, have pages out there, share content that you're already creating on those channels, but don't go create a custom social media campaign with all these custom images and all that stuff like that. That is not the best use of your time for that. So hopefully that makes sense. These are the water damage top marketing strategies that you need to be focusing on for 2023 and 2024. And until next time, actually next time we're going to be focusing on mold removal and mold remediation. What are the top priorities on that specific topics? So until next time, this is Sean. Thanks for following along with the journey.
You've been listening to the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast. Sean's not here to just talk the talk. He's walked the walk. With a track record of helping over 70 damage restoration companies and engaging in over 500 conversations with industry owners, he's seen it all. From digital marketing triumphs to the most ingenious growth hacks, he's got the keys to the kingdom, and he's sharing them with you. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, for more, hit the website at restorationmarketing.com. See you next time on the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast.